The 18th of July, listen, Rasmus Højlund has handed in his transfer request at Atalanta. As I speak now, Andre Onana is on a flight Onana, on his way to the UK. I'll tell you when he touches down and what is going to happen the moment he does land in the Queensland. Now, also, there is talk of a man headed out. That is the man in the Man United jersey right there on your screen. Alex Telles is breathing his last as a Manchester United player. Soon, he could be flying as far away as Saudi. Welcome to the hotspot. My name is Webb. It's an exciting day, guys, to be a Man United supporter because things are happening. There is a lot of news and progress. I'm confused on where to start, but first things first, with the man who is already done and dusted now. Time check now, it is exactly 5:44 p.m. Guys, in the next 3 hours, Andre Onana will be down in the UK ahead of his medical to become a Manchester United player. Onana is crossing over from Inter Milan on an agreed fee between the two parties. That's a fee of £47.2 million is what Manchester United will be paying to Inter Milan to join the club. And this is a deal that means a lot to Erik ten Hag and whatever he wants to do at Manchester United, because his style of play starts with the goalkeeper. Now, with David De Gea, he was only playing catch-up and managing with what he had, but this is the ideal goalkeeper for Erik ten Hag, and that is why he wanted him to be done and dusted so that he is able to join the team for the pre-season tour of the US. Now it is done. £47.2 million. Onana has agreed personal terms. He's going to be signing his contract 5 years with an option of a further 1 year is what he will be putting pen to paper onto. But also, he's going to be expected to be joined by a youngster in Zion Suzuki, who will be the backup goalkeeper as United look to start well now in the real era of Erik ten Hag. That is just about to start. Guys, I'm telling you, if you're a Manchester United hater, this is not the video for you. This one is for those who love Manchester United, because let me tell you, the future looks so bright. The future looks so bright for Manchester United. Listen, from Andre Onana, who is being done and dusted, it's a matter of time. I will be back here after 7. I will go live later on tonight, by the way, to just talk about Andre Onana after he does that down in the UK. But also, there is big news, because now the focus is on a striker, and who other than Rasmus Højlund, the man we've been linked with for the longest time. Now, the news coming through now from Italy is Rasmus Højlund has told his club Atalanta that he wants to leave and join Manchester United. Not just that he wants to leave and join Manchester United. That is him putting in his transfer request. Now, it all starts with the player. If he wants to go, who are you as a club to say no? You just now have to go into the negotiations. Now, remember, United have already agreed personal terms with Rasmus Højlund. We've told you this before. Those were done and dusted. There was never a headache. There were never issues with these personal terms. Now the issues start now. This was the plan. United had a plan, like I've been telling you here before. The plan was United, given that the budget we have is not that big, the plan was, let's go with a player. Maybe Mason Greenwood was spoken of at first, then later on Amad Diallo, and then maybe 2 more players, Fred or Scott McTominay or whoever, and loan this and include these players in our bid plus cash to Atalanta to try and let them, release a player they value at about 60 to 70 million euros. Now, Atalanta had that. There were verbal conversations between Man United and Atalanta were quick to say, no, forget it, guys. Forget it. We are not taking any player plus cash offers from you. You've got so many flops, and we want money. None of your players make sense to us. We have other players we want to sign. You didn't tell us to sign Rasmus Højlund, the one you want to buy, so you can't be giving us your fake players because you want a top player. So that's why Atalanta said no. So United were planning to put together a players plus cash bid for Rasmus Højlund, but they were stopped. The moment Atalanta had that, they said, don't go any further, don't you proceed. If you're serious talking business, we want cash, full cash. So United are now back to the drawing board. They are putting together a sensible bid for a player who they feel Atalanta, just like I do feel, is overvaluing, rating him at over 65 million euros. Really, there is no justification for that. But Atalanta have the player, United want him, PSG have spoken about him. So when the demand for someone is high, certainly the price is going to go high. So that's where we are. But United are contemplating putting together a bid. The initial bid will be going in either later today or tomorrow, but it's expected this week United to be tabling an official bid for Rasmus Højlund, and we'll see how it goes. Of course, the beauty now is that the player does himself want to go. He's pushing through for a move to happen because he's been a fan of Manchester United. It is now or never for Rasmus Højlund. In his head, he's thinking, this is the divine opportunity for me to join the club of my life, the club I supported. He's praying to his gods that it does happen. But Atalanta are as stubborn as they are. So let's wait and see how the talks will go. But they're about to get started. Erik ten Hag is down to business, one department at a time. First, get your midfielder, one you think gets to understand and play exactly how you want them to play in that midfield. He gets Mason Mount, pushes for him. He gets now his Andre Onana, gets down Suzuki as a backup, now focuses on a striker, Rasmus Højlund. But that's not all. That's not all. United also do know they need a backup for Casemiro. The way you see it, Erik ten Hag sees it. So he is at the back of his mind. He's thinking, okay, after a striker, then what else? Sofiane Amrabat. But to get Sofiane Amrabat and also a centre-back, because you need backup for Varane and Lisandro Martinez, who are almost injury-prone, he needs a backup centre-back. Who is that? Axel Disasi. Disasi is wanted by Newcastle. So he's thinking, what's going to happen? But there is no pressure. Erik ten Hag has a plan. Whereas the Glazers threw him in the deep end, this man, the mastermind, the genius, has got a plan. It's a game of chess now for Manchester United. He's playing his pieces, one piece at a time. The end game is looking tight, but Erik ten Hag seems to be in control of this end game. And that's why we are sealing players one after the other. The summer transfer window is still on, but United are sure by the time we go to the US, we'll have at least, of course, the goalkeeper, Onana, seems to be surely done. He will be there, but he's pushing to ensure we have a striker. So that is not the case. That game against Leeds United, when we played with Jadon Sancho as the number 9, that was unacceptable. Erik ten Hag saw it. It can't happen again. That's what he's trying to avoid. So that by the time we play Arsenal, at least there is a striker. At least at the very worst, when you play Real Madrid or Borussia Dortmund, there is a striker, because at least the goalkeeper will be there. That's the plan. But for that to happen, for Manchester United to be able to sign some of the players they want easily, the likes of Rasmus Højlund, who is a bit overpriced, they might need a top-up, a little top-up in terms of cash. For them to sign Amrabat, a backup for Casemiro, and also a centre-back, Axel Disasi, they will need to sell. I've been singing about having to sell to buy. And guess what? They are doing something about it. Manchester United is doing something about the selling. And this man right there is one of those who are headed out first. He is Alex Telles, who is wanted by Al Nassr or Al Nassr from Saudi Arabia. That's the same club that has Cristiano Ronaldo, and for him, for Telles, this is a dream come true. He was wanted by clubs in Brazil, Flamengo, and name them, back home where he comes from. But obviously, he wants to enjoy some serious money. And the project of the Saudi Pro League looks exciting to some of these players who are not exactly so much needed, who are surplus to requirements in the hot, and in the hot Premier League or European football. So for him going there and make some money in the next few years for himself would be a great idea. So that's why Alex Telles has already agreed personal terms with Al Nassr, but also Al Nassr have agreed terms with Man United. So it's a matter of time. The fee is believed to be just, I think, in the region of 10 million or 15 million or thereabout. So that will be some little money United can use to top up. If they don't have enough to sign Rasmus Højlund, they can top it up. But also there are other players to sell. Anthony Langa is one of those. Fred will be going. I have no doubt about that. Dean Henderson is badly wanted by Nottingham Forest. He will be going for about 20 or 25 million. So there is some bit of pounds. West Ham United had shown interest in Harry Maguire. So you feel there is some bit of money and pounds to collect here and there. And when we get those, top that on what we have, certainly all the departments we want to sort will be sorted. So guys, there is a master plan. Eric Ten Hag has a plan and it's working. I'm beginning to see it. It's beginning to make sense. But this is where we are. Of course, today is still Andre Onana Day. Very soon we are going to get Rasmus Højlund Day, or the Højlund Day will be coming. But for today, this is where we are. We are just now preparing ourselves for the next bid. Again, this one should be even a tougher one probably than that against rather than that with Inter Milan, because Atalanta are stubborn but we are sure we'll be seeing this one through. So that's where we are. Man United is down to business. I'm looking at the whole project that Eric Ten Hag is setting up and I'm thinking this is good. The ruthlessness from Ten Hag is on point. I'm only not sure that Bruno Fernandes should be the captain of this team. I will still insist. He has been wearing the armband before and it has worked and all, but where we are headed, it's going to be hotter, more fiery. I feel like Bruno Fernandes is not as grounded. He's still, he's not as grounded. But also I feel that he's one of, if not our most talented player. He shouldn't be given the burden of being the captain at this time when we are in a takeover situation, when the expectations are going to be high from the fans. You feel players like Varane would take that pressure. And to be a captain, you don't have to be a starter. Vincent Kompany was captain of Manchester City, but he was captaining players like David Silva, players like Kolo Toure, Yaya Toure, players like name them, the talented Sergio Aguero, the talented players of this one. He was the least talented player in that squad, but was their perfect captain. So captaincy, and at times he would be on the bench. Captaincy is not exactly about you playing, for Varane, he's not a Harry Maguire who will not play certain games because he's not good enough. It will only be injuries that will keep him out, which is okay. We bought him with these injuries. We knew them. So for me, he should be the one leading these troops. He will be more respected. He's a 4-time Champions League winner. He's a 4-time Club World Cup winner. He's a FIFA World Cup winner. He's a FIFA World Cup winner and finalist. He has done it. He's been there, done it, and achieved it all. That's the kind of player you need to be leading these troops in this point in time where we are seeing the real transition of Manchester United. But Bruno Fernandes seems to be the favored one. Not that it would be a bad idea or the worst idea. He has done it before. But in Ten Hag, like we say, we always trust. The only issue for Man United, it's only one. And it has only one name, but it's in plural. The Glazers. The Glazers. The Glazers, we are solving things down. The manager is doing his job. We are looking like a club with identity now. We clearly have a direction of where we want to go. But when you think about the people at the top, the Glazers, and their indecisiveness, them not wanting to sell, you go, okay guys, how long will Ten Hag hold if they stay longer? How long will Ten Hag be willing to stay? Then you think about that and you get disappointed. But the only hope is in the fact that the talks are still going on and chances are still high that they will sell, and not just selling, sell to the right bidder, and that right bidder is only one, Sheikh Jassim. Subscribe to the Hotspot.